Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 3 simple steps to taking control of your finances and managing your money starting today. So if you're interested in learning how my husband and I have been able to pay off $54,000, build and buy a house, and achieve other major financial goals in the past 3 years, then please keep watching. So the steps that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, we have been doing consistently, routinely, regularly for the past 3 years since we've been married and since we've been budgeting together and working to achieve our financial goals. I don't miss a beat any month, and I just want to share with you guys what it is that we're doing to achieve financial success. Step 1 is to create a monthly layout. Now you can do this by going online and printing off a calendar for that given month, or you can purchase a calendar, or you can purchase a planner, or of course you can use your phone. Obviously that's going to be the least expensive way to do it. I have gone ahead and completed some preliminary work. If you have an iPhone, I believe that the One Calendar app is going to be a lifesaver. Not only are there no ads, which can be annoying, but the interface is super simple. I'm going to walk you guys through what I mean by creating a monthly layout. So the purpose of the monthly layout is to give you an accurate depiction of every single thing that you have going on in the month. Obviously, there are always going to be random things that come up, but 9 times out of 10, we already know our paydays for the month. And here in the United States, oftentimes we get paid monthly or twice a month or bi-weekly or weekly. So like I said, we normally always know what and when our paydays are going to be. We normally also know when our bills are going to be due for the month. If you have a birthday, or if you're going to be giving someone a gift for their birthday, you can go ahead and add that in there. If you're going to be on vacation, if you're going on a date night, the purpose of this is to add in all of the financial obligations that you know ahead of time. This is going to help us with step 2. But I do want to share with you guys first what that might look like. So for purposes of this video, I have some bills and financial obligations and some paydays in here. Of course, this is like a mock situation, but I have a mortgage due on the 1st. I have a payday from Walmart every 2 weeks starting on the 3rd. I have a car payment due. I have a vacation, and there are obviously some other things on the screen too. Now we certainly don't want to be caught up on the idea of having this particular app. I'm just showing you guys what a monthly view might look like and why it's useful and why we implement it. So I encourage you to use this as a guide. Like I said, just go in, add in your bills and expenses, birthdays, vacations, all of that, so you have an accurate depiction of what your month is actually going to look like. And I definitely encourage people to go ahead and start working on this before the month actually gets here, or before that month actually starts. Again, the purpose of this is just to get an accurate depiction of what the month is going to look like, and this is going to help us with creating and carrying out step 2, which brings us to step 2. Now, step 2 is to actually create a monthly budget. And you certainly can do this using a piece of notebook paper or college ruled paper or printer paper, copy paper. You can do this using an Excel worksheet. You can do this in Google Documents. You can do this using an app. Obviously, there is an app that I use, so I am going to recommend EveryDollar for this, and that's because I think that it has the best interface. Like I said, I've gone ahead and done some of the preliminary work, and of course, I'm recommending apps and such that I actually use. So let's talk about the purpose of a monthly budget. Now, the purpose of a monthly budget, instead of winging it, is so that you can make sure that you are telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went, or instead of leaving it a chance. That is, I believe, the epitome of improper financial planning. I can attest to that because I once used to do that. There was a time where I was not completing an accurate budget, and I was not doing an EveryDollar budget, certainly, and so therefore I didn't really know where my money was going. I certainly wasn't tracking expenses that well, which those are all things that are a part of creating a monthly budget. I do not believe creating a monthly budget can exist without doing an EveryDollar budget, which means that you are going through and making sure that you are assigning a job, an assignment, a task to every single dollar. This does not mean that you are taking your bank account to zero. For some reason, that is a myth that is out there, some kind of misconception that is out there, but that is not the purpose of doing an EveryDollar budget. In doing an EveryDollar budget, you're just making sure you are accounting for every single dollar, and you're not allowing money to just be hanging out in your bank account and leaving that to chance. Given the fact that finances are most people's top stressor, and given the fact that a lot of marriages actually end up failing or not working out because of finances, our financial situation is nothing that we can really play around with, and that's just the fact of the matter. It's going to be a little scary, of course, getting started at first, but I can attest to and I can promise you that it does get way easier as the month or the time goes on. Like I was mentioning before I went off on a slight tangent, I don't think that creating a monthly budget can take place unless you're doing an EveryDollar budget and unless you are making sure that you're tracking all of your income and your expenses. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we talk about step 3, but for the most part, you for sure have to make sure that you are creating a monthly budget. I am going to just show you guys briefly, real quick, the app that we use every month and the benefits of doing so. Now, this particular app will let you enter in all of your income sources, and it will allow you to enter in giving, enter in savings. It actually will keep track of the savings that you're doing because it makes the savings a fund. So that is a perk of this app. Also, you know, you can enter in your housing and your transportation, your personal lifestyle, all of those different things. You're free to change these categories and delete them if they are not applicable. It also allows you to look at percentages, and it allows you to look at what you've spent and what is remaining. Now, whether you're going to do your budget using an app or whether you're going to do it on paper or Excel or whatever the case is, you do want to get in a habit of making sure that you are tracking every single penny that comes in and every single penny that goes out. So with this app, you can just go in and add in your income with no problem. You can even label the source. And you know, there's that. Also for expenses, that is something that you can do too. You can go in and you can track every single time that you get gas. So like I mentioned, that is a very big part of creating a monthly budget and carrying out a monthly budget, because there's no real point in creating a monthly budget if you're not going to keep track of your income and your expenses each and every month. Now, step 3 is to break down your monthly budget and consider budgeting from paycheck to paycheck. So if you're paid every 2 weeks, then you would do a paycheck to paycheck budget every 2 weeks whenever you get paid. If you're paid weekly, then you would do a budget every week whenever you get paid. Now, the purpose of this is just to ensure that you are staying on track and holding yourself accountable. I often preach that that is like one of the major things in creating a monthly budget or being in control of your finances, is that realistically, the only person you really have to answer to, especially as an adult, is yourself. So you have to make sure that you are holding yourself accountable. As an example, let's say you create a monthly budget and the grocery budget that you set for yourself or your family is $400 for the month. Well, if you do a paycheck to paycheck budget, and let's say you get paid every 2 weeks, that means that for 2 weeks out of the month, you have about $200 to spend on groceries. And then for the other 2 weeks out the month, you have about $200 to spend on groceries. Again, this is all for further accountability and breaking down your goals even further. I am a firm believer that that is what we have to do. We cannot set a goal, you know, at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of the month and not actually like check in with the goal or to hold ourselves accountable, to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do to achieve the goal. And I don't consider managing finances to be any differently. You are free to do this on paper, in Excel, or wherever else, but I do have an app that I want to recommend, which is Fudget. I often speak about Fudget. I use Fudget literally like every day, well, like once a week whenever I'm checking in with the budget, but I sometimes will just kind of glance at it on a regular basis, a more frequent basis than once a week. Now, you can do your monthly budget in Fudget, but I always feel like it works best as a tool for creating a short-term budget. So maybe every 2 weeks when you're paid, you can come in and create a budget or a budget for that particular time frame. You know, let's say it's going to be for 2 weeks, so you can put in your income for the 2 weeks, you can put in your expenses for the 2 weeks, and it just further breaks it down, because trying to look at the overall picture at a monthly budget can be a little stressful. I personally believe it's just a big picture and you're expected to, you know, manage all of that money and all of your bills and expenses and stuff within that large given time frame. But if you can break down the budget into a bi-weekly budget or a weekly budget, I think it will allow for much less stress. I know this all probably seems a little daunting and like it's gonna require a lot, but you have to remember that once you get into the groove of anything, it's going to come really naturally. And the beauty in, you know, electronic budgeting, let's say, is you can add in your bills and expenses and paydays and things like that for any given month. And all you have to do is make sure you set a repeat for that reminder, and then all you have to do in the new month, because those bills and expenses and paydays are going to pull to the new month, is just tweak a few things. It takes no time at all. It probably takes me, you know, 10 minutes at most to do that each and every month. Same thing for the monthly budget. Most of our monthly budgets don't really change a whole lot from month to month. And if you're doing this digitally, like in EveryDollar, it will automatically bring over your financial picture, your monthly budget from the previous month. Of course, if you're in Excel, you can just create another sheet and mimic, you know, that same budget that you had for the previous month and just tweak it. Again, takes no time at all. So just as a recap, the 3 steps that my husband and I take every single month in order to manage our finances and be in control of our finances include creating a monthly layout where we can outline our bills and paydays and those expenses that don't really fluctuate and that are kind of regular. We create a monthly budget so we can make sure that we are accounting for every single bill and expense, and we're making sure we're accounting for saving and paying off debt, and making sure that we're treating those things, investing, savings, paying off debt, just like we would any other type of bill or expense. It's about prioritizing those, and that's what a monthly budget allows you to do. Finally, of course, we will go ahead and further break down our monthly budget if we feel the need to. Sometimes I don't really do that. I'm not like super consistent in doing that, but for the most part, I do that like pretty regularly. I feel like I do it more often than I don't. So I hope that you guys found this information to be helpful. It was a lot of information, a lot of things that I was sharing. If I left out anything, I'll be sure to add it to the description box or the comment section. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.